In this episode of Sailing Dark Angel, we borrow a mooring in Lake Worth and take you through some of the repairs that we had to make to essential systems like our engines and windlass. Not one, but two hurricanes hit us with winds, waves, and boats, all so that we can get back onto the ocean and return to the Bahamas to share more adventures with you. If you like our videos, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. It's free for you and really helps our channel. In this episode of Sailing Dark Angel, what are we doing now, Captain Dave?
Well, we did a wrap-up of Season 3, and now we're going to do a wrap open, wrap on.
An unwrapping.
A wrap down.
An unwrapping.
An unwrapping.
Let's unwrap.
We're going to unwrap.
Whoa.
We're going to unwrap Season 4.
And how we're planning on doing that is very briefly go over all of the craziness that happened in Florida, a lot of very important repairs that had to happen to Dark Angel for us to be able to come back to the Bahamas.
We find we don't get a whole lot of views and a whole lot of interest in repair videos, so we decided we wanted to show you what we did and skip through it all to show you that we did have to do a pile of repairs to come back out without boring you with all the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah.
But if you do want to see all the nitty-gritty details, let us know in the comments, and I'm considering starting maybe a tech channel, and maybe if there's
that
enough
all
demand.
depends on you.
Yeah, it's an awful lot of work. So if you want it, I'll put together a YouTube tech channel and post all the stuff. We've got all kinds of repair work.
Repair check.
I'm not saying we did it right. I'm just saying we did lots of it and it's on film.
We did enough of it that allowed us to come back out to the Bahamas, as you can see behind us.
So why don't you give us a rundown of the stuff that we repaired?
I can do that.
Let's go through the highlights and the lowlights and the bright lights and the dim lights and the...
Sounds good. Let's get started. Back in episode number SDA171, our port engine refused to start, so we replaced the starter with a rebuilt one and then a new one, and the engine still didn't start. What are we doing today, Captain Dave?
Today we pressure tested our rad cap to see if our system was holding pressure in the coolant side, and it is not.
What does that mean?
We took out the injectors to check those, and when we pressure tested the coolant system, it blew coolant up right out of number 3 cylinder.
So what does that mean?
Blown head gasket.
So what does that mean?
Means I got to get the head off, and we got to get it machined, reconditioned, put a new head gasket on it, and put it back together.
Boo. So what kind of cost are we looking at?
I don't know. Matt's checking with a friend of his who has a machine shop to find out what it's going to cost to get the head machined, and then we got to get a gasket kit, and the rest is labor. Removing an injector and pressure testing the cylinder revealed our issue: a blown head gasket. A teardown and rebuild ensued. So, what are you doing today, Captain Dave? I'm working on a little head.
He's always anyway.
This is the cylinder head from our port engine. It's a 3-cylinder Volvo MD 2030C with it's a 29 horse engine, or it was. Now it's a 0 horse engine, possibly much less. And right here, it looks like the gasket's been leaking pretty badly. So you can see where it's leaking over from here into the cylinders. So it looks very much like what we have is a bad gasket. So next step is to get the rest of this gasket material off, and then we're going to send this to the machine shop. We rebuilt the top end with a brand new head gasket and new injectors, all with the help of our friend Matt. While the engine was apart, a cleaning of the heat exchanger revealed a hole where there wasn't supposed to be a hole. Coolant loss solved. Dave used epoxy to repair rather than replace the very expensive heat exchanger. That little hole got bigger and bigger as I cleaned it, and I realized that that hole actually shouldn't be there. That hole is part of the coolant jacket and not part of the exhaust. So what's happening is the coolant is coming out this hole and going out the exhaust. And so losing coolant, and eventually we ran out of coolant and cooked the engine, blew the head gasket. So I think that's the issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it up with some epoxy, and then after I've got the hole plugged and set, we're going to put another epoxy cap over top of it and smooth it out. And then hopefully that's going to hold it, because that little piece of equipment is ridiculously expensive. So I've got a little bit in there to plug the hole. And now when that starts to set up, then we'll put another piece over top of it to prevent anything from getting in behind the jacket. Okay, we used most of a stick of epoxy to do this because I did it in several layers, but I put in 2 layers in the hole to pack it so that we'd have a base. And then I did a layer here at the front, and then I noticed it was still chewed up in the back, so I did another layer in the back, and it's curled right around here to the exhaust port on the side. And it's all smoothed in, and you can see I tried to get it right into the grain of the metal all the way around, and it comes right out to meet the gasket face. So hopefully that'll keep the coolant inside the water jackets where it's supposed to be instead of going out our exhaust.
And a new exhaust elbow fixed up the problems. A test of the alternator to see why the battery was discharging showed that an alternator was, no surprise here, toast. A much smaller but working alternator fixed that problem. The alternators didn't come out easy. There's a spacer seized to the pivot bolt on both alternators that had to be cut apart.
We've tried drifting it through with a giant drift and a sledgehammer, and it wouldn't budge. The nut comes off just fine. It's this sleeve right here that's sticking. Now, Matt, your boat has the exact same sleeve and it didn't stick, right?
Right.
So I don't know what it is. Is it threaded? Is it just seized? So we're trying to cut it off right now with a cutoff blade and see if we can get in there and cut it apart.
No small job.
We tried that hammer and that drift punch.
But Matt to the rescue again with a special cutting tool.
The high-speed spinning rotary hammer.
That's right.
Of death. All right, here we go. I've got an automotive background and I have done hundreds of alternators, literally hundreds. I've never seen anything like this. Check this out. We cut the entire bolt apart. All that's left is the head. There's nothing else. It's still stuck. We're having to drift that head out. We've literally cut the entire bolt apart and this head still won't come out.
Can you catch it?
Yeah, because that's gonna go. There we go. That is insane. But there's
still,
no way that should have been stuck like that.
No.
I mean, there's not even threads, guys, for it to catch. There's not even threads. It's a shoulder bolt. And it was solid. I mean, you saw it. We had to drift it out. I'm blown away. But anyway, the alternator's out. So there's the spacer on it, and you can see the spacer looks like it's welded right to it. So there was no way that was coming apart. Now the spacer on yours was just a bushing, right? It just came right off.
Thin tube.
Thin tube.
And it had some play in it.
So this must have been threaded.
I don't know.
Or they hammered it through. I don't understand.
I don't think they had the right size bolt.
I think you're right. And both of them are done that way.
After changing the alternator on the starboard engine, we tackled the exhaust elbow, revealing a matching, albeit smaller, hole in the heat exchanger. More epoxy and another coolant leak fixed. We spent a couple of afternoons reinforcing our tired Genoa with Martha's expert help on the sailrite. So, what are we doing today, Captain Dave?
Today we're going to visit the amazing Martha and her sailrite machine.
And that is why.
Our tired old jib needs some attention.
She needs some loving. So we're going to put that into the dinghy.
Always the fun part.
Into Imp. Dave and I have to haul her. Dave might be able to do it by himself. And go all the way down there to the public dock. And Martha's going to pick us up. Isn't this fun? It's so romantic.
Sailing is such a romantic thing. Perfect, let's go.
Perfect. Oh my God. Martha's at it again. She's saving the day again.
What's the verdict?
The verdict is the sailrite has to go back to the shop.
But the good news is we got quite a bit of it done. I mean, some of this is real bad, but
We're close.
the parts that were terrible,
we got.
Or better.
Look at this. This looks like hand stitching. Look how even
That
that.
is
Oh
hand
wait, I did
stitching.
that.
Oh, wait.
So we got some of it, a lot of it.
We got a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's a big sale.
I think we're good to go.
Okay.
Let's go out the street.
Time for a drink.
Let's call it and flake it.
It is.
Flake the sail, drink some rum.
All the while, we've been on Martha's moorings, saving us from having to use our broken windlass. A new solenoid pack fixed up the
All right,
windlass.
I think I found the culprit already. We took the solenoid pack off. We being me and Lisa, mostly me. And you can see where the contacts that I cleaned up before, they're showing that they're a little bit burnt again. You can see on this side, I had these all cleaned up and they're burnt. And this one is physically stuck together. And that would be,
The cause?
I can't even get it out.
The cause?
Yeah. Well, the solenoid being stuck on, that keeps the motor running.
Okay, so can you explain to me how or why this happens? Like,
Uh,
why does that happen?
They're not making proper contact and they're burning. It's really, really not good. So I think what we're going to need is a new solenoid pack.
Can it actually cause a fire in your boat?
Any electrical burning can cause a fire. So I popped it out and look at that. It's just, it is fried. It's really, really badly burnt.
Yeah. And I decided it was time to flip our aging anchor chain end for end, buying us a season or two before we needed to replace it. In the meantime, there's a big disadvantage to being on a mooring with your engines torn down during hurricane season twice. The mooring was solid, but not one but two hurricanes sent boats drifting directly toward us as they dragged anchor.
This is exactly what we were worried about. That boat is adrift and it's heading this way. And there's a real good chance it's going to crash into us when it gets off of that boat.
In the first hurricane, getting hit by two boats at once on either bow is a new record for us and one that we don't want to break.
Well, we just got hit by two boats at the same time. The one that hit us on the starboard is down there. It bent the bow pulpit, crushed the rub rail a little bit. Freya's the one that hit the port side. It also crushed the rub rail a little bit, but I think that's all the damage we took.
A bent bow pulpit and several damaged spots along the rub rail were left as a reminder. Yesterday I found impact damage on our boat, and that's right here, and you can see some light behind it, but it seems solid. Yeah, I think we're okay here, Dave, by the look of it.
Doesn't look soft.
No. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think we're okay. I was a little distressed over it, I'm not gonna lie. With, you know, you had the two boats come at us, and then one does damage like that.
It's the same one that damaged our bow pulpit.
Yeah, that was the one that did the most damage, the one that damaged our bow pulpit, plus this one, this spot back here. In the second hurricane, we get hit by a smaller boat and managed to fend it off.
We pushed it off. It didn't hit us. It looks like it's going down the center. It might be okay for all the rest of the boats, but Southern Comfort is heading that way.
The people on the boat beside us are cheering for us. This crazy shit. I'm just so happy it didn't hit us.
While very nearly getting hit by a much bigger monohull sailboat.
Looks like about a 44
It missed us,
foot.
but did significant damage to the next boat in line.
It's broken loose, and Right now it's just south of the sailing club. And yeah, it's broken free. It's not going fast. It's dragging along the bottom.
She's coming this way, Dave. She's behind us though, but she's still coming this way.
Andy and Nancy from SV Free Spirit came to visit.
It's weird cooking breakfast with clothes on.
What are we doing today, Captain Dave?
Making breakfast?
Okay. And why are we making breakfast like this?
Because we got some really cool guests here from SV Free Spirit. And everybody kind of just rolled out and had their coffee. We're all hanging out.
Really, he called us freeloaders before.
There is no evidence of that unless you look at this clip.
We had a late night last night, and we had a good time walking around the square. I showed them around town a little bit, West Palm Beach. But
we found a place that made some really good sangrias.
And what else was it?
You had lemon martini? Was that what it was?
No, was it?
Yeah.
Was it banana?
Oh no, a pineapple one.
Pineapple.
It was a pineapple something or other.
Pineapple infused
It was
vodka
really good. I don't
martini.
even remember what it was.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was pineapple infused vodka martini.
Yeah, that's what
That's
it was.
the good stuff.
Yeah, you're the one who happened to pick it out for me. So
I am the instigator. Almost always.
always the instigator.
Unless Andy's along, then he's the instigator.
Then it's Andy.
I'm innocent.
Oh, you lies!
I am so innocent.
You're
lies.
so full of shit. Your eyes should be brown.
That's why they're blue, sky blue, because I'm so innocent. See?
A little halo because I ding. And we got to spend a lot of time with our Florida extended family. We didn't get to see everyone we wanted to this year, but hope we do next year. We tried very hard to pay forward all of the help that we've received in the past, and I hope we were able to make a difference for our friends we've made. I know they make a huge difference in our lives. We shot a lot of content of the engine rebuild, but we find that there isn't much interest in that content on our channel. If you really want to see the full engine rebuild, comment below and maybe Dave will create a second YouTube channel just for the techie videos. We can't wait to get back on the ocean to make our way back to the Bahamas. Can't swim, so I'll keep on dancing till we leave.